Street at News
Bitrate
95.5
is low.
750 WSB. Depend on it.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. What we're talking today is we're going to talk about cancer today. People always say, "Well, Dr. Joe, what's the word on cancer?" Because it's crazy. I don't know if you're like me, but cancer has affected my personal life, my family. I lost my sister to cancer, several aunts and uncles to cancer, and so I thought I'd do a show on this and not so much tell you what to do, what not to do, what's good or what's bad. I'm going to tell you what the new research is showing. We're going to talk about what the research is showing, and then you can make your own decisions on that. Because it's a touchy subject, and I want to make sure you have all the information that you can get. And as usual, I try to find out why. And the new research, and this is what kind of sparked it, is we always wondered how cancer would metastasize. You get cancer one place, it would metastasize to another place. And we never quite understood. They said, well, it went through the blood system, went through the lymphatic system, but nobody quite figured out exactly how that happened. Was it a cancer cell that was metastasizing to other places of the body? And it turns out it's a stem cell, we think. This is the new research now on stem cells. So if you have a stem cell, and we can talk about this much more in depth as the show goes on, but if the stem cells are the cells that differentiate into anything they want to be. So if you have a stem cell and you need to grow heart tissue, it can become a heart tissue. It can become a brain tissue, become a toenail. But if you have a cancer stem cell, it starts to grow. And we're going to talk about why it doesn't die when other cells do, and why it continues to proliferate, and how it can metastasize. So it's really kind of neat, this whole buzz in stem cells, and now stem cells are now leading us into research of cancer, which actually makes it good, because up to this point it's kind of been a attack everything technique. Let's give you chemotherapy, let's give you radiation, and try to focus it on the area, but many times it can cause its own problems. So what happens is, if we can get to the stem cell, we can just kill the stem cells and not the rest of the other cells. So let's we're going to go into that a little further as we go on. But a nationwide study on dietary cholesterol, because I'm a vegan, I've been a vegan for 34 years now, and people ask me too, somebody asked me just the other day, why do you do that? Isn't it hard? No, it's not hard, it's extremely easy. But here's the thing, if there was a better way to eat, I would eat that way. And knowing what I know, this is the best thing for me. Because I can do whatever I want. I can eat whatever I want, I can take whatever supplements I want. I know that this is the best for me. Because if meatball sandwiches were good for me, I'd eat meatball sandwiches. I'm going to do what's best for my health, and I want to give you the information so that you can make, hopefully, the same decisions. But let's talk about dietary cholesterol and cancer. A new study concluded that not only may cutting down cholesterol help prevent cardiovascular disease, it may also reduce the risk of cancer. Limitation of animal fat and cholesterol is a favorable public measure. This is what the study showed, which makes perfect sense. Now, here's the thing with cholesterol. Cholesterol can only come from animal products. People say to me all the time, well, Dr. Joe, I won't eat avocados because they're high in cholesterol. I won't eat olives because they're high in cholesterol. No! Cholesterol can only come from animal products. It cannot come from plant products. Now, avocados have fat, olives have fat, nuts have fat, but those are okay fats. It's the cholesterol that this study was focusing on. Studies showed that it's correlated to all cancers: colorectal cancer, stomach cancer, rectal cancer, pancreatic cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, kidney cancer, bladder, and a type of bone marrow called non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's what they were showing is it's an issue. So that becomes a big problem. So cutting back your cholesterol, cutting back your animal products, is shown to help a lot of things. Now it's showing to help with cancer as well. And the thing is this, I'm going to talk about this in a second, it's not necessarily the cholesterol that's the problem, it's what the cholesterol breaks down into. I'm going to cover that in a second. Let's talk about eggs. People ask me all the time, well, Dr. Joe, are eggs safe? My rule on this, if you're going to eat animal products, I want you to do organic only. But I would prefer you don't eat the animal products. But I'm willing to negotiate with you. I'm not going to be a hard nose here. I'm willing to negotiate with you on certain things. But if you're going to do animal products, they have to be organic. And the reason is, 30, 40 years ago, we didn't have to worry about things like steroids, hormones, chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, genetically modified food, weed killer that's sprayed on the foods. And now we do. And years ago, when I was a kid, cows were fed grass. Now they're fed what? Corn and soy. Corn and soy high in omega-6 fatty acids. And so I've done many shows on this before, on the animal products and the benefits of organic versus non-organic. If you're eating organic animal products, higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids. If you're eating non-organic, lower levels of omega-3, higher levels of omega-6. Omega-6 fatty acids cause inflammation. Every disease known to man has an inflammatory component. So one of the secrets we want to do for all health issues is bring down the inflammation. And if you're eating animal products high in omega-6 fatty acids, you're going to increase the inflammation. So please, I'm begging you, if you're going to eat animal products, let's do organic only. So egg consumption, also associated with the risk of ovarian cancer. What they found was this: when you cook the eggs, you create something called heterocyclic amines. Now, if you've listened to my shows before, I've talked about this when you grill meat. When you take protein and heat it at a very high temperature, it creates heterocyclic amines. So if you have temperature high enough to make an egg cook, you can be producing heterocyclic amines, which are known carcinogens. Now, with the eggs, you don't get the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, but you get that when you do barbecue. So if you're barbecuing meat or grilling meat, you know that smell, that delicious smell in the air? Ooh, it smells like barbecue, it smells so good. The fat is dripping down on the hot coals or the wood or whatever you're cooking it on, and that smell you're smelling are polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which are also known carcinogens. So if you're eating meat and cholesterol, you're increasing your risk of cancer. But then you're heating at a high temperature, which creates the heterocyclic amines, again increasing the risk of cancer. And then if you're grilling it, you get that smell, that's the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. So multiple reasons why you want to cut back on your animal consumption. If you're going to barbecue, which you shouldn't, but if you do, don't. But if you do, don't. But if you still do, I want you to marinate the meat. And if you marinate it in either apple cider vinegar, is going to be one of the best things you can marinate it in. It's going to reduce that. And if you add rosemary to your marinade, rosemary and or apple cider vinegar is going to help reduce the risk of the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons being produced and any other cancer components as well. Sorry, Ahmad just looked at me like we have to go to break here. Folks, got to go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk about it's not the cholesterol. It's how the cholesterol digests in your body that we think is causing or linking to the cancer. I'm going to open up the phone lines. If you have any healthcare questions, the lines are open. 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. My website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, over 1,000 hours of podcast, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Folks, we want to help get you well and keep you well. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show. I'll be right back. All right. There we are. Any questions from the peanut gallery yet?
No, but keep talking for just a second.
Okay, I'll keep talking for just a second. And the other show, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Glad you guys could be here on social media. We found out what the peanut gallery was. The peanut gallery were cheap seats at theater productions where they would sell peanuts. Peanuts was the snack that was preferred there because it was cheap. And so the peanut gallery was the cheap seats. So I don't know why we're calling you the peanut gallery. You're not the cheap seats. You got the best seats in the house. So if you have any healthcare questions, please send them to us, whatever you're on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Just send us your questions, and I'll answer them at break. So if you're new to the show, this is how we do it. I do my radio show, which goes all over the world, and then at the breaks, when they play commercials, well, that's when you and I get to spend a little more intimate time together. We get to answer any questions you might have. So anything you have regarding any topic, not just cancer, we're more than happy to answer your questions. My website, 24 hours a day, drjoe.com. We have over 1,000 hours of audio and video podcasts there. So a lot of folks, after listening to the show, will go to the website. Garrett has a question already.
Dr. Joe.
Yes.
Besides physical therapy, what is the proper way to deal with cerebellar ataxia?
Cerebellar ataxia. Chiropractic works wonders with that. For that. Oh, by the way,
There you go.
Garrett gets a bell. Whenever Garrett gets a big technical word right, he gets a bell. So the cerebrum is the front part of the brain. The cerebellum is the back part of the brain. The cerebellum helps control your balance. And so physical therapy is great, but here's how we can determine which side of the cerebellum is involved. You have somebody with you on this. Don't do this on your own. Put your feet together, have somebody wrap their arms around you, but don't touch you, and then close your eyes. And if you can stand still with your eyes closed, the cerebellum is pretty good. If you start falling to one side, let's assume you start falling to the left, it's the left cerebellum, in most cases, could be the inner ear, could be other issues as well, that isn't working properly. So what we do chiropractically is we stimulate the left cerebellum and we'll adjust just the left side of the body. Let's assume you're falling to the left. And then it's amazing. We'll have somebody stand up again, close their eyes, and bam, they're balanced. It's really cool. And then we can show you some other things you can do to stimulate the cerebellum. So physical therapy is great, but you got to make sure you're stimulating the correct side of the cerebellum, which is very important. And that's why we work so closely with physical therapists, because they do the muscle work, we do the bone work, we can do the neurological work, and we get some great results with things like this. So If you want to come see us, the website's drjoe.com, and the phone number is ringing already, 844-44-Dr. Joe, which rings through to my offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area when I'm not on the air. So there's your question answered in depth. Garrett's all by himself today, folks. So you got to. Usually we have a team here, and Garrett's all by himself today. So he's gonna be a little slower than usual, which is perfectly fine. It's still faster than any other human being can do it. So
I keep losing weight. Doctors don't know why. I go for another weigh-in on Tuesday. Any suggestions?
well, of course you want to get checked. You have cancer. I mean, of course you want to check all these things. As long as you've had all that checked and you're fine, it could be a digestive issue. You may not be absorbing your nutrients, and a lot of times, if somebody has acid reflux, heartburn, the colon is not absorbing nutrients properly, it may pass right through you. So in cases like yours, assuming it's not a disease process, thyroid, cancer, things like that, I check the nerves in the low back. Those are the nerves that control the colon. And then I check the digestive system, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, to see if you're absorbing nutrients. So chiropractically, we adjust the nerves to the organs, and then we want to we can actually adjust the organs themselves. We're coming right back, Garrett. So hold off any questions, folks. If you have questions, send them in right now. But Ahmad just told us 1 minute. So.
Investigates how your tax dollars are spent and provides more county-by-county coverage of important.
And from YouTube on Ormus, some of the research that we showed there's two really, really large sides to the story, so we're going to do a little more research before we give a stance on it.
Yeah, I looked it up too, and it was I was curious.
There's a bit for and a bit against, especially for its origination.
Yeah.
So, more on that next week, hopefully.
Yes.
Depend on it.
Nope, not yet. Ahmad fooled me. No, we come up right after this. And we have to be specific to the time, folks, because this show is heard all over the country. They're planning commercials and everything around to the minute for us, so we got to be right on. We get to spend a little more relaxed time together.
Will you give more details about cholesterol and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma?
I'll cover a little bit more on it, but basically that's it. It's more cholesterol, the higher the risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I'm going to talk about why, though, in a second.
To him sooner. Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there, because today we're talking about cancer and a new research that's out. Because for years it's been a mystery to us. Why does cancer metastasize? Why do some people, when they get cancer, get better and some people don't? I'm going to show you the one thing that seems to link those people that don't have a flare-up again to those who do. It's kind of interesting, this new research. It's kind of neat stuff. So we were talking about cholesterol and how cholesterol can be linked to cancer. And we were talking about eggs right before the break, which is important. So there does seem to be a dose-response relationship for egg consumption in cancers of the gut. Just a few eggs a week might be associated with 19% increase with colorectal cancer. If you eat more than 5 eggs a week, your increase raises to 71% of colorectal cancer. So once again, it's the cholesterol, it's the animal products that are doing it, but I'm going to tell you why, because it's really not the cholesterol. It's what the cholesterol breaks down into, which is really neat research. I'm going to start taking some callers, too. The number here is 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. Nathan, how can we make your day better? Very good, sir. Oh, you're going to love it like most people do. Good. Excellent. Yes. Sure. Uh-huh. Sure. Oh, yeah. Couple of things. Number one, every case I've ever had with menstrual cramps or cycle issues, there's always a pinched nerve in the low back. The nerve in the low back controls the colon and reproductive organs in the bladder. So when you have a pinched nerve in the low back, you might have back, hip, leg, knee, and foot pain, but you're going to see things like gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, period problems, mood swings because it affects the ovaries. So with PMS, we always want to check the nerve supply in the low back and fix that. From a nutrition standpoint, she's gotta cut out all the stimulants, the coffee, the colas, the chocolates, the sugars, because those are the things that are going to throw the hormones totally into wackiness. I've done shows in the past on hormones too. And then from a supplement standpoint, the Super Green's the essential source. When you get it, give it to her too. Again, you can take a scoop of each, mix it with coconut milk, almond milk. I have it in the studio here with me right now. It's just water. If somebody complains about it, add some frozen berries to it or frozen banana, whip it up. It makes an amazing smoothie. It's smoothie in a jar is what it is. And then you all want to check the B vitamins as well. A lot of kids are low in B vitamins, so you might want to consider getting her some B complex as well, and that might help too. Okay. My pleasure. Thanks for listening. And folks, if you have a question, the number here is 844-44-Dr. Joe. And again, we have over 1,000 hours of podcasts on the website, drjoe.com. And we do have offices. The Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We would love to be your doctors. We want to get your nervous system working, your digestive system working, and your diet straightened out. And if we can do those three things, most people respond very positively to our treatment. And if you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. I don't care what the insurance company says. If the car was damaged, you are not stronger than your car. And your seatbelt locks your body in, but it doesn't lock your neck in. So every single time, I was just talking about this yesterday, the head snaps around like a ping pong ball, and you always damage the neck. So if the car was damaged, you were damaged, you need to come see us as soon as possible. If you've had treatment before, you're not getting the results you want, come see us for a second opinion. We'd love to give you a second opinion. And we co-manage a lot of our cases with other doctors. So I'm not here to steal you from another doctor. I'm here to co-manage your case to try to get the results that we want. If you have MRIs, x-rays, we're more than happy to go over them with you. All right, so here's the new research on cholesterol. This is really exciting. It goes back to 2008. And in 1908, the presence of cholesterol crystals were noted in the proliferating areas of cancers. So what they did was, in 1908, they saw cholesterol crystals forming around cancer cells and tumors. So they thought, well, there's some type of association with the regulation of cancer and cholesterol. All right, that was just a visual thing. A century later, here we are, much, much later, we now recognize the accumulation of cholesterol as a general feature of cancer tissue. So when there's cancer tissue, cholesterol can build up around it. And recent evidence suggests that cholesterol may indeed play a critical role in the progression of cancers, including breast, prostate, and colorectal. So once again, all the studies, no matter where I seem to look, all keep going back to cholesterol and its link to the cancers. This could explain why egg consumption is associated with increased breast cancer. And a systemic review of all the evidence shows that dietary cholesterol intake increases the risk of breast cancer. It's probably not the cholesterol, as I said, so what is it? And if you listened to my shows before, you know I like to get to the why. Why is this happening? You can tell me it's there, but give me the reason. The level of low-density lipoprotein cholesterol in your blood in women diagnosed with breast cancer does appear to be a predictive factor of breast cancer production and progression. 2 years after surgery, chemo, and radiation, not one of the women with the lowest third of the LDL cholesterol levels had any cancer recurrence. The same could not be said with the women who had the highest levels of LDL. So here we are, we got to bring down our cholesterol levels in our blood if we're going to expect to see good results. And it's hard to imagine that cholesterol alone was doing it, but this is the thing. This is what got me excited. I had to tell you guys. The discovery of something called 27-hydroxycholesterol. It's a metabolite of cholesterol. So when you eat cholesterol, one of the things it's broken down to is something called 27-hydroxycholesterol, and it can function as an estrogen and increase the proliferation of most cancer cells. Now, you've heard me talk about hormones before. We do a lot of shows on hormones. Estrogen is a growth hormone. It causes the body to grow. Now, if you're done growing tall, you're going to start growing fat. Now, I used to be fat, so I can say the F word. So you start getting fat. And estrogen is produced by, well, the ovaries, but it's also produced by fat cells. Years ago, we thought fat was a blob. It did nothing. Turns out we were wrong. Turns out fat is a living, breathing organ. It produces leptin, which goes up into the brain and makes you feel full. And that's why if you have a lot of fat, you produce a lot of leptin, and the leptin goes up into the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus says, okay, I'm full. But if it's being bombarded with leptin all day, every day, because that's what fat does, it doesn't take a break, it keeps producing this leptin, the hypothalamus becomes resistant to the leptin. It says, I don't believe you. It's like the boy that cried wolf. And so now the hypothalamus shuts down because it becomes leptin resistant. And this is why many fat people keep eating and eating and eating even after they're full. And once again, I used to be fat, so I can say that. So it turns out that fat kind of sends a message to the brain to trick the brain, and the brain says, I'm not full, I'm going to keep eating. So fat becomes a living, breathing organ, and it also produces estrogen. and estrogen causes you to lay down fat, which causes more estrogen, which causes you to lay down fat. So this 27-hydroxycholesterol acts like estrogen, which causes abnormal cell growth, and that causes you to lay down more fat, which produces more estrogen, which can increase the growth of abnormal cell tissue, which is what? Cancer. So it's the 27-hydroxycholesterol that got me excited because now we know why. It's not cholesterol itself that turns it on, the cancer cells. It's what it turns into. And discovery that most abundant oxidized cholesterol metabolite in the bloodstream can have estrogenic effect may explain the link between high cholesterol and the development and progression of breast and prostate cancer. Yes, 27-hydroxycholesterol also stimulates proliferation of prostate cells, boosting growth by about 50%. That's crazy, man. Guys, we've got to get our cholesterol levels down, and we do that by cutting out the animal products is one way. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. I'm going to open up the phone lines, 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE, if you have any healthcare questions. My website, over 1,000 hours of podcast, drjoe.com. When we come back, we'll talk about some supplements that are showing some real promise in this area and things that you should be doing every single day. I'll give you a hint. You want to start with Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, and vitamin D. Really important. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Oh, look at these roses. They're gorgeous.
Oh, hey, Banky.
All right. So this other computer has a really touchy audio cord, so I apologize, guys. That is why you didn't hear the caller.
Okay.
But I reset the source, so let me know if it cleared up in the last segment or not.
Yes, you got to feedback Garrett there, man. He's at your mercy. Any questions, Mr. G?
Tons.
Tons. Where is everybody? They're all sitting around waiting to ask me questions.
What about cherries? Is
Cherries.
it true that they're known to have cancer cells destroy themselves?
It's called apoptosis. When a cancer cell commits suicide, we're going to talk about this later on the air. Apoptosis. I just love that word.
When any cell.
What?
Not just cancer, when any cell.
When any cell dies, it goes through its life cycle. When it's old enough, it creates apoptosis. And what happens with cancer cells, the stem cells, that gene that creates apoptosis is turned off. And so the stem cells just keep proliferating. So cherries and cancer, maybe. My concern with that is there's sugar that's in the cherries as well, and sugar can feed cancer. So if you're going to do cherries, make sure they're organic. But if you have cancer, I would stay away from all sweet things until the cancer is under control again.
And what was it about the seeds? Are you going to get to that part? Because I think that's why, what is it, B17 or?
Oh yeah, I'm going to get to Laetrile, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and vitamin B17. No such thing.
I eat a few Brazil nuts a day for the selenium benefit.
Good.
I buy shelled Brazil nuts. But someone told me once shelled the nut starts to lose its selenium value. Is that true?
Well, and
Shell.
as soon as you take the shell off of anything, it's going to start to oxidize and break down. It's still okay to eat them. It may not be exactly the same amount. If you want to break them yourself and eat them, that's even better. But I may not be that ambitious, so I eat Brazil nuts that are out of the shell already. It's still good, so I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Smoothie recipes for Super Greens and Essential Source.
Haha.
We have a ton of them on our Instagram page and on our Facebook page. It's Dr. Joe Esposito. And there's also a handful in your book, correct?
Yes.
That one.
Eating right for the health of it. But if you go to our Facebook page and or our Instagram page, we have a ton of recipes there. I mean, like gazillions of them. So you can get them there. I just like the Super Greens Essential Source by itself. I mean, I just shake it up. I just add some cold water to it and drink it. So, but if you want to add smooth recipes, make it a little fancy with smoothie, knock yourself out. A lot of questions. The phones are ringing here and everything. A lot of questions today, which is good. Nothing's happening this week. That's why it's quiet.
So LDL cholesterol is bad and HDL is good?
Yes, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, the LDLs oxidize, and when they oxidize, they irritate the artery walls. We did a show on this 5 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
So if you go to my website, drjoe.com, we have the whole explanation, yeah. But LDL is the bad one, and the HDL is a good one, yeah. That's generally speaking.
We have something coming up this week.
We do have something up this week. Yes, Wednesday, folks. It's live now. It's going to be February 14th, so 13th. I'm sorry. So if you listen to this in the future, February 13th, 2019, we're going to be giving a live lecture at Life Grocery in Marietta. We'd love for all of you to come out, so please come out. It's a lot of fun. It's free. I don't do a lot of free live lectures anymore, so this is a big opportunity. Adults only. We're going to be talking about the food-sex connection. So it's adults only, please. No children under 18, or if it's somebody even 19 or 20. It's not going to get dirty, but we're going to talk a little technical, and I don't want the kids asking mommy and daddy questions on the way home. But 6 o'clock, Life Grocery, Marietta, Georgia, February 13th, 2019. So if you can come, I'd love to have you come out and say hi.
And if you can't come, depending on the internet quality, we are most likely going to be live streaming.
That's right. We're going to try live streaming it. So first time we ever tried live streaming a live lecture. So.
There's a holistic doctor that tells people to eat 8 organic eggs per day. What is the health benefits and alternatives?
The alternatives, don't eat them. I mean,
that's a health alternative.
Yeah, that's a health alternative. Yeah, don't eat it. Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that, and I don't have to agree with everybody. That's okay, and they don't have to agree with me. But I don't think we need to be eating that much eggs, and the research now is showing that it's probably not a good idea. So, but if they're going to eat them, they got to be organic. But I wouldn't eat them.
All right, I'm going to save this one because it's a little longer.
Okay.
On a vegan diet, are there any foods that are high in cholesterol? I guess just because you're eating vegan doesn't mean you're eating healthy. What can you avoid as a vegan?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sugar can raise your cholesterol levels. Anything that's going to hurt your liver. Alcohol, sugar. Those can be vegan, but that doesn't mean they're good for you. Cholesterol can only come from animal products. If you're on a vegan diet, you won't eat any cholesterol, but you still can raise your cholesterol by eating a lot of sugars and junk foods and processed foods. And so you want to stay away from the processed foods.
What do you recommend for dark circles under your eyes?
Adrenal support. Dr. Joe's adrenal support. Where is it? There you go. Dr. Joe's adrenal support. The circles under the eyes are usually an inflammatory reaction. The adrenal glands produce prostaglandins, which control inflammation. So I take this every single day. And I think you should too, especially if you're over 30 and you have any stress in your body at all.
Go ahead and zoom in on those eyes.
I had much bigger bags under my eyes in high school than I have now.
Probably same. Yeah.
Yeah?
I had really bad, of course I wasn't sleeping, I was studying, and I wasn't...
I didn't study.
Take care of myself?
I didn't study a lot. I mean, I studied a lot, but it came easy to me. Intellect comes easy to me. You know, I can't play basketball, but things come to my brain, they sink in pretty easily, so. Yes?
All right, I'm going to go ahead with it. I've been told from my GI doctor and any liver flush isn't good for you.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, the GI doctor is taught that it's not good for you. Absolutely. Now, you got to be careful with a liver flush because if you have a gallbladder issue, you don't want to be doing it. So if you have a healthy gallbladder, I don't see any reason with any problem with doing the liver flush. So once again, I respectfully disagree, and I certainly I would say you need to make your decision on that. But I'm not here to tell somebody how to practice. I'm telling you what I know, what I would do. So.
Are tomatoes
Here we go.
good? Oh.
Depend on it.
Does this sound like you? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headache?
Argued benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problem, not just cover up the symptoms. If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr.Joe and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family.
Snuck that one in
today.
there.
We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an
Looking at
appointment
the
today so
buds.
we can help get you well and keep you well.
Are you suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here, talking today about cancer and what the new research is showing. And now we're on cholesterol and what cholesterol is showing up in cancer, and it looks like it's a big issue. And we just started talking about before the break that cholesterol metabolizes into something called 27-hydroxycholesterol. Now, 27-hydroxycholesterol may explain why breast cancer patients with higher vitamin D levels appear to live longer. Now, if you've listened to my show before, you've heard me jump up and down and scream that you need to get your vitamin D levels checked, and if it's in the winter, you need to be taking vitamin D because you're not going to get it anywhere else. You get it from the sun. The UVB rays interact with cholesterol in your skin and create vitamin D3. You don't want vitamin D2, I wouldn't take it because it's a synthetic version, and the synthetic version has to be converted into vitamin D3, and that's a process. So I'd rather just get the vitamin D3 direct. On our website, drjoe.com, one of our many popular supplements is vitamin D3. So vitamin D supplements decreases 27-hydroxycholesterol in the blood. So here we go. If you have high cholesterol, you have low density lipoproteins that are high, chances are it's converting into 27-hydroxycholesterol. Vitamin D can help reduce that. The best way, though, of course, is going to be to lower your overall cholesterol. Lower cholesterol means lower oxidative cholesterol, which means better results. And the lowering cholesterol with dietary changes can reduce the risk of women with breast cancer and slow tumor growth. So we got to get that cholesterol level down. How do you do that is the question. 1 in 100 people have genetically high cholesterol, and they do well with taking medication. Now, I'm not here to say don't take medication. If your doctor has you on medications, take it. But if you can fix the liver, hopefully the cholesterol is going to drop. How do we fix the liver? By stop stressing it. The liver is the fastest healing organ in the body. So if you have a liver issues, it's usually pretty easy to fix, and the way you fix it is stop causing it. So what do? We cut out the 7 deadly sins: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. You have to cut out Dr. Joe's 7 deadly sins. And if you never saw my lecture, go to my website, drjoe.com, go to media, go to my videos, and right there on the homepage of YouTube you're going to see the 7 deadly sins of nutrition lecture. It's one of the more popular ones we have. And watch it. And we talk about the 7 foods you want to cut back or cut out of your diet. That alone is the easiest way to help lower cholesterol. Increasing your fiber can lower cholesterol. What's that mean? Going to a plant-based diet. So it keeps coming back to the same thing over and over again, which is kind of cool. And the vitamin D, you're not going to get it unless you're getting sunlight, so that's why I recommend you take a supplement. So I take, because somebody just sent the question, is Dr. Joe, what supplements do you take every day? I take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. That's the minimum amount of nutrients you should take every day. They're 2 powders. I mix them together. They taste great. A scoop of each, a little bit of coconut milk, almond milk. I have it here at the studio with me with water today. And just drink it at least once a day. Now, if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, we send out smoothie recipes on a regular basis to add the Super Greens, the Essential Source. You can do that if you want to. I'm lazy. I just mix it, just the 2 of them together. That's going to give you the minimum amount of nutrients that you need every day. In the winter, vitamin D3. You need to take that every day. I take adrenal support because as I get older, my adrenal glands most glands don't work like they used to. But the adrenal glands can help with energy, hormone production, and inflammation. So I take adrenal support every day, and if I eat a cooked meal, I take digestive enzymes. Now in the winter, I love making soups. I like split pea soup and bean soups and lentil soups, and I take the digestive enzymes with that, helps it break it down. It's a lot easier to digest, so a lot less adverse reactions. Let's leave it there. Got to come up more on what to do with certain cancers like mesothelioma. So hold on one second. I want to get some callers in first. If you have a question, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Janet, how can we make your day better? Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Sure. Sure, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit later, but I'll give you a little preview. The stem cells, that's what we're finding now, and we started the show out with this, that we're finding out that the stem cells, a normal cell, it forms, it goes through its life cycle, it has a genetic time bomb in it, and the bomb goes off, it's called apoptosis, and the cell dies. With the stem cells, the cancer stem cells, that genetic coding to make it die when it's old enough is shut off. And so it keeps growing more cancer cells. And the theory now, the scientific research is leaning toward these stem cells get into the blood system or the lymphatic system and can set up shop elsewhere. And that looks like why they metastasize. That's the new belief in the medical world, is that's how they metastasize through these stem cells. And so if you have them, it's good that you got to treat it. I'm very happy you went through the treatment. Now we've got to do everything we can to get these stem cells to stop proliferating and creating these abnormal cells. I'm going to cover that a little bit later. But the plant-based diet, bottom line, a plant-based diet seems to be the best thing to calm down these stem cells so they don't keep proliferating. Okay? All right, thanks, Janet. Thanks, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Let's go to, is it Haskell? Hey, Haskell, Joe Esposito here. How can we help you? Yes. Good. Sure. Okay. Right. Understood. Now, is it is it the mitral valve or the tricuspid? Mitral valve, yeah. So your mitral valve prolapse, is that what you're saying? Yeah, okay. Did you have rheumatic fever as a child by any chance? Ah. Okay. Wow. Okay, yeah. So it could be that you had a genetic malformation. It could be you might have had rheumatic fever. My father had rheumatic fever as a child, and rheumatic fever weakens the heart muscle. So a couple of things you've got to be careful with is you've got to keep good dental hygiene, because the same membrane that covers your gums covers your heart. So you've got to be really, really careful. I'd recommend flossing and water picking and brushing and really being careful about your teeth, because you don't want to get an infection in teeth. It can go into the heart. And that's why if you have a heart condition, they're always going to tell you go to your dentist first before we do heart surgery. Make sure everything's good there. So that's something we should all do for good dental hygiene, but especially for someone like you. Now, if it gets bad enough, you might need the surgery. If there's a genetic malformation, or if it was a mitral valve, if it was from rheumatic fever, you might need that surgery. The good news is that surgery in today's society is a really pretty basic surgery. I mean, it's not like the old days where you have to cut your chest open and do everything else. You're right, you have the pig valve, you have the plastic one. If you put the plastic one in, just understand it's going to click every time your heart beats for the rest of your life. It'll go click, 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 yeah. So just understand that as well, and you can talk to the doctors about that. Now, my father was deaf, so he had the mitral valve put in there, and he couldn't hear it. But what would happen was, every time he got excited or something, he would click, 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 click. So it was kind of a funny thing. We made fun of him, of course. So, but just if you take good care of yourself, keep listening to this show. It's the same thing we can talk about with cancer and heart disease. And the heart stays healthy, it may last your whole lifetime. Uh-huh. I understand. Keep listening. I'll give you some tips. Got to go to a break. Thanks for the call. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, number here is 844-44 Dr. Joe. My website, drjoe.com. If you want to get the supplements we talked about, Super Greens, Essential Source, if you want to make an appointment to come see us, and I think you should, by the way, for chiropractic care, digestive care, nutrition advice, drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Hey, don't go anywhere. Tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. Does this sound like you? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches? Chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problem and not just cover up the symptoms. If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-DR-JOE and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well. Okay. Lots of callers today. Man, we're just hopping tonight, aren't we? Good stuff. Mr. G, you have questions for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can chiropractic care help chronic sinus issues?
In most cases, yes. Now, chronic sinus issues, you want to check the nerve supply in the neck. That goes into the sinuses. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, the stomach acid could be coming up into your sinuses, so we may have to, adjust and pull your stomach away from your diaphragm. Very common. And then we got to get you off the two foods you got to start with is wheat and dairy products. So cut out all the wheat, cut out all the dairy products. Come see us. We'll check the spine and we'll check the stomach. And in most cases, that helps tremendously. And of course, Super Greens and Essential Source, everybody should be taking some. Garrett running around, bam, 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 bam.
Now, are tomatoes good for you? It's confusing. If so, the leaves are bad. What about the tomatoes itself?
I don't have a problem with tomatoes. They have something called lectins. They're nightshades. And so here's what I want you to do. Stay away from all nightshades for a week. And that would be tomatoes, peppers, eggplant. Stay away from the nightshades for a week. After a week, I want you to eat some nightshades and see how you feel. If you feel fine, you're okay with it. So I'm okay with tomatoes. However, I only do organic because when I was a kid, we grew tomatoes and everything was organic when I was a kid. We didn't have a word for it. And now there's just so much junk. And the tomatoes are hard and they're chalky, and I won't even eat regular tomatoes. I only want to eat organic, so I've become a little tomato snoot. More questions?
Any tips to get a sugar addict off of sugar?
Yeah, go to my website, drjoe.com. We've done many shows on sugar addiction. But here's the thing. You got to cut it out. And you got to cut it out for 4 days. 0 sugar. Breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. Because the part of your brain called the nucleus accumbens is where dopamine is released. Going to talk about that with Don from Brookhaven in a second. And when the dopamine is released, you get high. And so that's why you got to be really careful. And you could also go to our website, drjoe.com, and get a supplement called Gymnema. You have to call our office for that one. Gymnema stabilizes the blood sugar. And everyone who's a sugar addict, I get them on Gymnema. Here's a little trick you can do. Chew the Gymnema tablet next time you want to eat something sweet. It doesn't taste good. But then try eating something sweet. It numbs your taste buds. You can't taste anything sweet. So it gets you off your addiction pretty quickly. So Gymnema, you have to call the office for that one. It's not on the website, but that works really well. And then Super Greens and Essential Source. Tons of people tell me once they got on Super Greens and Essential Source, a lot of their cravings went away.
So something you recommend to enhance my vision? I'm prescribed glasses now after surgery, but was told my vision will get better over time.
I love this one. I have macular degeneration. I was told 8 years ago now, I guess, that I was going to go blind. I was on my way to going blind. Super Greens and Essential Source every day, sometimes twice a day. Every 2 years, I get my eyes checked, and every 2 years, my macular degeneration is getting much better. In fact, Garrett's putting together a blog on this for us. Going to put pictures of my eyes up there, the back of my eyes, and you'll see it. So Super Greens and Essential Source, and then nitric oxide for circulation. So I would do Super Greens, Essential Source, and nitric oxide for vision. And I can testify personally, and I'll show you my pictures, how I've naturally healed something that could never be healed. I was told it'll never get better.
That's been up since Friday.
It's posted already. Garrett has posted it. I'm going to give him a bell for that. How about that? 1 minute. Okay.
And that's a question.
Okay.
Which one do you recommend between powder, superfoods, and pill vitamins?
I like the powder because you get more bang for your buck. The pills, you just have to compress them. You got to put them in there. Sometimes they use heat. It's more. That's why we keep them in a powder and not in a pill, because it's more expensive, and we're trying to keep the price low. Unfortunately, we may have to go to a price increase soon because the manufacturers and the products are going up and up and up. So we may have to raise our prices a little bit soon. I hope not. So you want to get your Super Greens and Essential Source now because that may happen soon.
Overturned. The far right lane is shut down, and that's causing delays back toward Wade Green Road. You may want to use Highway 41 as an alternate around this. Downtown back to normal, about 8 minutes in either direction between Atlantic Station and Langford Parkway. And Georgia 400 northbound's a 7-minute ride from 285 up to exit 7 Holcomb Bridge. 4 more minutes up to exit 10.
Put it in the search bar. Chances are we've done a show or 5 or 10 on your topic. If not, you can always send me your question through the website. Here we go.
Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there because today we're talking about cancer and we're finding out what the new research is showing with cancer. And we talked about how cholesterol converts into something called 27-hydroxycholesterol, which can then actually act like an estrogen, which can cause abnormal cell growth. How's that for wild? So I love stuff like that because I love finding out why these things are happening. And there was one study I saw, mesothelioma, which is one type of cancer, but this kind of goes for all cancers. One of the most compelling findings in modern research is that a diet without or minimal animal products can prevent cancer or even promote healing of cancer patients. If you're living with mesothelioma or other cancers, a vegetarian or vegan diet may improve your quality of life. So once again, and I've got tons and tons of studies showing that. A study found that women following a vegan diet had a 34% lower risk of cancer than women who ate a healthful diet that included meat. So just cutting out the meat, 34% decrease. Plant-based diets generally include more fiber, and fiber is proven to play a protective role against cancer. Fiber is also shown in multiple studies to protect against several types of cancer. So you can't get fiber from animal products, you can only get it from plants. So if you're going to eat animal products, again, organic only, but please, I'm begging you, Add plants to every meal. And I want you to have something raw at every meal. Now, when I say raw, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, salad, because raw food has something in it called enzymes. And enzymes help break down your food. They fight inflammation. They let the body heal. And as we get older, our enzyme levels plummet. I have a supplement on my website, Dr. Joe's Enzyme Support, and I take it every time I eat a cooked meal because I know the importance of enzymes. And it's one of those things that most people don't think about, but you really need to consider getting the raw food in your diet and or taking digestive enzymes. Let's start taking some more callers. We'll go back to the cancer show. Here we are. Let's see. Kimberly, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe. This is actually my first time listening in.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm really excited about everything I'm hearing you talk about. The reason I'm calling is I'm 45 years old, and I've been struggling with exhaustion and migraines since I was born, it feels like. When I was a small kid, other kids would go outside, and I would be laying there just with horrible chronic fatigue and, terrible migraines.
Sure, I understand. Sure. Okay.
6 years ago, well, actually in high school, they found that I had scoliosis and some degeneration on my left kneecap.
Sure.
And then it's progressed over my lifetime. I'm never not tired.
Sure.
I'm never not having a migraine.
Let's talk about that. Okay, so with migraines, a couple of things. It could be chemical induced, of course, and we've done shows on headaches before. I can't do chocolate. I can't do caffeine. I get a headache. So with migraines, I'm sure you've played that game before. Taurine, you can't do cheeses, you can't do wines, you can't do processed meats, right? That whole game. What usually happens in cases like yours, though, is a pinched nerve in the upper part of the neck. So the occiput.
That's what I have now, yeah.
And when you pinch a nerve, that's the nerve and blood supply up into the brain, and then something triggers it, and there's your migraine. So chances are chiropractic care would be your knight in shining armor. And I think you'd be very...
6 years ago, I started out... my mother was diagnosed with fibromyalgia 20 years ago, degenerative disease, stuff like that. It hit me 6 years ago. I started having swelling in my neck and some other crazy things going on. I started off with chiropractors at Life College.
Okay, yeah.
And I got to a point where he was like, "We can't touch you anymore."
Okay, yeah. Okay, so
you're too bad.
We got to keep rolling here, Kim. A couple of things. My team, I've been in practice 35 years. I have 7 degrees. I'm board certified in chiropractic, orthopedics, pain management, double board certified in nutrition, BS in nutrition, retired dietitian, award-winning author. So a lot of cases, one of my offices is right next to Life University in Marietta, actually. They'll send their cases to us when the students can't work with them anymore. Then I'd look at your diet. We try to get a dietary workup on you. I check your digestive system, acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. We may have to adjust or pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm, and that takes stress off what's called the vagus nerve, which can also be linked to migraines. And then we look at your diet, and in most cases, we get very good results. So if you'd like to come see us, the number you just dialed, 844-44-Dr. You can call when we're open, regular office hours, or the website, you can do it right online, drjoe.com.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. I'm going to do that then.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Kimberly. Look forward to meeting you. And, folks, if you do have a question, like we said, 844-44-Dr. You can call in right now. And if you want to make an appointment, you can do that on that number as well. Don, real quick, how can we make your day better?
Hey, doctor, it looks like I've got early signs of Parkinson's disease coming along, and so facing kind of a long-term future on that. And just wondering if there's anything you recommend in diet and lifestyle that may minimize the effects.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You got to get the dopamine levels up for Parkinson's, and dopamine is produced by an amino acid called tyrosine. And if your stomach isn't breaking proteins into amino acids, you can't get the right amount of tyrosine, so tyrosine becomes dopamine. So acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, we may have to adjust or pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. As we get older, I'd probably recommend Dr. Joe's Enzyme Support to help break down those proteins more efficiently. Chiropractic care, want to adjust the nerves that go up into the neck to make sure that's working properly. And then nitric oxide is another supplement that increases circulation, and I've got some pretty good results with that. So I would take Super Greens, Essential Source, Enzyme Support, and nitric oxide from a supplement standpoint. Stay away from those things that can clog up the arteries, like the animal products we're talking about today. And then chiropractic care. And in most cases, you got a good plan there.
Sounds good.
All right, Don, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And, folks, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We'd love to be your doctors. So if you want to make an appointment, go to my website, drjoe.com, and you can book it right online, or you can call us, 844-44-Dr. We're more than happy to set you up an appointment as soon as possible. And I have to say at every show, if you're ever in a car accident, if the car was damaged, your neck was damaged. Always, 100% of the time. I don't care how little damage there was to the car, your head is going to snap around. So you want to come see us as soon as possible when it comes to car accidents. And a lot of people come see us. They went to these other doctors. They didn't get the treatment that they needed. The bills got rung up. They ran out of insurance, and doctors dismissed them. We try to get the person well. That's one of our goals. Is we don't want to just run up your bill. We want to get you well in the process. And we work with your lawyers, work with the insurance companies. So you can do that right online, drjoe.com. If you have a healthcare question, folks, give us a call at 844-44-Dr. Joe. Foster, keep holding. I'm going to get you after the break. We're talking today about the research, the new research that's out on cancer. And we said the vegan and vegetarian diets contain fat, but it's not those saturated fats. It's the unsaturated fats. And the saturated animal fat is a type of fat that's specifically associated with increasing the risk of cancer. So, eating more vegetables provides more fiber, less saturated fat. It also includes nutrients, including those that have been known to fight cancer. And that's why I take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Essential Source every day. One of the many reasons, because I want to give my body all the nutrients that it needs to function normally. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. If you're just tuning in, our website is drjoe.com. You can order supplements there, make appointments, listen to podcasts, send me questions. The website is a great source of information. If you'd like to make an appointment, again, 844-44-Dr. Joe will get you to us when we're not on the air. But right now, the lines are open. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
Here's what's happening. WSB sponsors.
All right, we got a promo coming up on the next one.
Next break, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And
Hey.
this one.
Bye.
You guys are awesome.
What? Thanks, guys. Eric gets me scared. He gets so excited.
What's in the adrenal support?
It's a bunch of different herbs that'll give you the nutrients that you need. If you want the exact listing here. Eleuthero, rhodiola, ashwagandha, and licorice root, along with B12, B6, vitamin C. So all sorts of good stuff like that. Vitamin A.
Ashwagandha, are we going to talk about that one?
Oh, I love ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is like the end-all, be-all. It helps so many different things, ashwagandha, and that's why I put it in here. So, and eleuthero, the ashwagandha.
Can chiropractic adjustments assist in digestion? I was diagnosed with slow emptying stomach and can still taste food from the previous day.
We see it all day, every day, yeah. You want to pull the stomach away from the diaphragm and try to stimulate the digestive system. We check the nerves in the spine that control the digestive system, and we have so many people with your condition that we see on a regular basis. Many times diabetics have this, and that's why a lot of diabetics are just lifetime patients of ours, because it really helps them a lot.
This is kind of a weird question based on what you're talking about today. If the process of cellular death is postponed, without an increase in cellular growth, could that increase cellular longevity and life expectancy?
Probably.
It's a big what if, but...
Yeah, it's a big what if, yeah. So probably, but again, if you're producing healthy cells, your cells are meant to die off, you produce healthy ones. That's what I'm trying to do, is get you to produce healthy cells. So could you do it the other way around? Yeah, but I'd rather you get these young, healthy cells coming up all the time.
Okay. So there's an eye supplement called Ocuvite.
It's good. It's lutein and zeaxanthin, which are good, but the essential source has a lot more than that in there. And that's why the lutein and zeaxanthin is okay, but that's why I think my macular degeneration got better, because I took a lot more than that.
What kind of collagen do you recommend for a vegan?
The body can make its own collagen, because any protein you eat, I don't care if it's a carrot or a steak, is going to be broken down to 21 amino acids, or however many there are, and then reabsorbed. So this whole thing about taking collagen, it makes no sense to me, because collagen to be broken down just like a carrot is, just like a steak is. So, and we're working on getting our own vegan collagen supplement, but essentially what it's going to be is easily digest amino acids. So you don't have to worry about those animal collagens or these animal bone broths, because the problem I have with that is every study I've ever seen, including the organic ones, they have lead in them, because lead is stored in the bones and the cartilage, and you don't need any more lead in your body. So that's why, if it worked, I'd take it. Believe me, I have no problem with it. I just know what's in there. So, yes.
Did you say at one point that raw mushrooms have carcinogens?
No, I never said that.
Wondering if you know about mushroom elixirs.
Oh yeah, mushrooms are great. The right kind. The matakis and the rishis and those are great for the immune system, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, and getting the immune system working better. So, because that's the new research. I'll give you a hint there. The research is showing that the cancer, instead of killing the cancer, as far as you can go.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it, man. They're getting it's immunotherapy now for cancer treatments, and that seems to be what's going on lately, and that's kind of cool. So, Garrett's by himself today, guys. He's running crazy out here.
I'm about to break down a steak. I'm about to boot you. No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. Yes, we got to do liners.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I get.
So, folks, we got to do liners because what this show is heard all around the country, all around the world, actually. So we got to do liners for the other stations. So.
Are all the ingredients in Super Greens and Essential Source safe for lactating mothers?
Yes. That's an easy one. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and this week we're talking about the new research on cancer. You're going to be surprised what it's showing and the things that you might be able to do to help yourself. Dr. Joe Esposito here. This week on my show, we're talking about the new research in cancer, and you're going to be very happy with what we're finding and the things that you can do to help yourself get well and stay well. Hey, we're talking about the new research in cancer and what you need to know to help prevent this issue, and if you do have it, what to do about it. This week on the Dr. Joe Show. That's professionalism. Bam. All right. Yes.
There's a super bug known as Pseudomonas. What would you recommend, if anything, to keep it from returning?
Those are tough. Those superbugs are tough, man, and there's a lot of them coming out. And there's even a gonorrhea now that's in Europe. I don't think it's here in the States yet. It's not responding to anything. And it's really scary because it can get into your body and your brain and your nervous system and cause some real serious problems. Syphilis, if you go into tertiary syphilis, can cause brain damage and make you crazy. Some people think that's what Idi Amin had. Hitler might have had it. So we're creating these superbugs because we're using antibiotics on a daily basis in commercial meats, dairy products, and that's one of the theories as to why these superbugs are mutating and evolving. So we have to hit it with something that they haven't seen before, and that would be a natural approach. Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to work specifically, but Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster, I take that every day to keep my immune system strong. If I start feeling under the weather, I take Dr. Joe's Seasonal Tonic, which is ginger, horseradish, cayenne pepper, onion, and garlic, pureed in an apple cider vinegar. So all of those the medical world is now looking at, especially things like garlic, oil of oregano. So that's what I would do. Look at garlic every single day and oil of oregano. And you could also do colloidal silver, but make sure you follow the directions. Don't take too much colloidal silver. You'll turn blue, literally.
I was diagnosed with low vitamin D, so my physician prescribed me vitamin D2,
Yes.
1.25 milligrams or 50,000 international units.
Once a week.
I take a pill once a week. Yada. Should I, and is it worth it, to change to D3?
My opinion, yes. Because the D3 is already in D3 form. The D2 has to be converted into D3, and you can only absorb so much of anything. So 50,000 international units, my feeling is you're not going to absorb it as well as if you took it and spread it out over time. So I would take, this is what I take anyway, Dr. Joe's D3. It also has vitamin K2 in it for your bone health. And 5 drops every day. That's 5,000 international units. If you take that every day, 5 times 7 is 35,000. And you can absorb it better than the 50,000.
What is craniosacral therapy most beneficial for?
Everything, man. I studied with Bertrand Desjardins. I studied with the man himself. Well, Upledger created craniosacral therapy, and then Desjardins followed up with that. But you have a bone here called your occiput and a bone here called your sacrum. And every time you breathe, they move up and down, and they pump cerebrospinal fluid up into your body. So every table in all my offices that we have, when you're laying on a table, will go up and down and pump the sacrum and the occiput, pumping cerebrospinal fluid up into the brain. So people think they're on a stretchy table and just getting stretched out, when in reality, we're stretching them and we're pumping cerebrospinal fluid up to their brain. So it's this key to normal brain function, craniosacral function. So that's why we do it on all our patients. We don't even talk about it with them. We just go ahead and do it for them. So.
Okay, do you have any supplements for menopause? What do you recommend?
Menopause, Super Greens, an essential source. Vitamin D are vital. Nitric oxide is very good. And if you're still having issues, you got to check the nerves in the low back, because that's the nerve that goes into the ovaries, and that's so important. That's always overlooked in menopause. Now, there are other supplements we could try, but I would start Super Greens, essential source, nitric oxide, and B complex, and the chiropractic adjustments. And then if we need to, we can go into things like black cohosh and things like that. But many times, if you fix the other stuff, you don't need those things.
And yes, how does Dr. Joe fit all that in his head?
Your hair's falling out. See, it's pushing my hair out of my head. So
I have the same questions.
It's amazing, isn't it? And again, I don't know these questions, folks. It really is live. So
Yeah, I'm jumping back and forth. Maybe I should turn on the webcam and show you. Like I'm
yeah,
really.
he's better looking than me. You should be looking at him anyway.
Really digging
There we
through
go.
these questions.
And it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Listen to Dr. Joe. The 5 most dangerous words in the English language are maybe it will go away, stop suffering, and start getting well. Dr. Joe Esposito is on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. We're talking today about cancer and the new research that's out. And it's so exciting. I love when there's new research that's out that nobody's heard about yet. We go and cover it for you guys. And the things that are happening, and we're going to talk about stem cells in just a little bit and how the cancer stem cells might be different than regular stem cells and the new therapy that we're working on from a medical standpoint to attack just the stem cells and leave the healthy cells untouched. Because one of the problems is if you're doing chemo or radiation, it can cause its own cancer. And that could be a problem as well. And if we can attack the stem cells, hopefully then it won't metastasize. So really exciting research in cancer, and it makes me very excited. But all the research is going back to one thing, that if you're eating a plant-based diet, you're going to reduce the risk of cancer. And if you do have cancer, chances are it's going to help you heal a lot faster. So eating a plant-based diet, several substances in vegetables like beta-carotene, flavonoids, antioxidants have been proven to help. They have the anti-cancer properties. So studies have found vegetarians have stronger immune systems than meat eaters. One study found a doubled immune cell activity in vegetarians as compared to people who ate meat. The stronger immune system can help cancer patients better fight off cancer cells and tumors. So the research, again, is going toward the stem cells and building up your own immune system so that your immune system can start attacking these abnormal cells, but not attacking the healthy cells. And so we want to get the immune system as healthy as possible. So I've done shows on immunity before. You can go to my website, drjoe.com, and listen to them. We have them on audio and video if you want to. You can listen to them or watch them, whatever makes you happy. And the website's drjoe.com. But let's cover immunity real quick. A couple things you want to do. Number one, you have to cut out the sugar. If you read my most recent book, Prescription for Extreme Health, we talk a lot about the immunity and sugar. You got to cut out those sugars, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, because sugar just blows out your immune system. If you have a can of soda, let's assume you have a white blood cell, the average white blood cell. And the average white blood cell can kill about 14 pathogens or bad guys before it dies. If you drink it's sugar in a can of soda, that can now kill 1 pathogen before it dies. Now, eventually the body reboots itself, so to speak. But if you're constantly dumping sugar into your body, folks, you're just blowing out your immune system. And this is why with cancer patients, we have to get them on a non-sugar diet. And in fact, one of my patients worked in cancer research. And he said, what we do, Dr. Joe, is we take a radioactive isotope and we hook it to a molecule of sugar and we inject it into the patient. And with radioactive isotopes, we can follow it through the blood system. And we follow it wherever it goes, wherever the sugar settles, that's where the cancer is. He says it's one of the tricks we do to help find cancer is we just feed it sugar. So I'm begging you, please, everyone should do this. Cut out the sugars, the breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. You have to. It's tough. And, of course, the white sugars as well. So that's tough. Stevia might be a good choice if you have to do something sweet. That would be a better choice. I take Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster. We talked about that. To keep my immune system strong, it's Echinacea, Pau d'Arco, olive leaf extract, and suma root, which are herbs that have been shown to help the immune system. You got to get your vitamin D up. That's the most important thing when it comes to immunity is the vitamin D. And we have a Dr. Joe's vitamin D supplement. It's on the website, and you want to take 5 drops a day. That's all it is 5 drops. That's 5,000 international units. You got to get that vitamin D up. Now, when the sun is out and it's warm, you don't have to take it. Like spring, late spring, summer, and early fall. I don't take it because I'm out in the sun. I'm getting enough sunlight. But during the winter, absolutely positively. If I do start getting sick, I take something called seasonal tonic, which is ginger, horseradish, cayenne pepper, onion, and garlic, all of which have been known to help with infections like that. And you got to get the and nutritional yeast. I got to cover nutritional yeast real quick. I don't sell that. That's something you go to a health food store and get it. Nutritional yeast has something in it called beta-glucan. And the beta-glucan in nutritional yeast has been shown to dramatically improve your immune system. I use nutritional yeast every day. I think you should too. It's a nice savory flavor. It kind of tastes, I don't know, like cheddar cheese if I had to give you something. But it's a powder. I put it on anything savory, salads, soups. I use it every single day. It's just amazing, and I think you really want to make that part of your diet. Any health food store should carry that. All right, we're going to keep talking about what the research is showing in cancer, so let's go to some callers here. Foster, how can we make your day better?
Hello, Dr. Joe. How are you?
I'm well. Glad you called.
Listen, earlier you were speaking to one of the callers about teeth and the heart.
Yes.
What do you think about dental implants?
Not a big fan of them because there's a lot of research out there now. In fact, somebody just sent me a link to something on YouTube about it. And when you put the dental implants up into the skull, and I have one, and I wish I never did, you always have a low-grade infection. Because when they pull out the tooth, there's little side canals that come off the root of the tooth. Now, we can wash it out and clean it out and then put the metal implant in there. But what happens is those side canals, you have anaerobic bacteria. And the anaerobic bacteria means they can live without oxygen. So you always have a low-grade infection when you have the implant put in there. And so...
Is it because...
It's what?
I'm sorry, is it because of the metal?
Yeah, the metal.
That they use?
Yeah, it's not the metal,
okay,
actually.
What about if they use silver? You know, silver's supposed to be...
Oh, no.
It's
it's inert. But like I said, when they pull the root out, when they pull the tooth out, there's always these little side canals where you can't wash it out. So when they reseal it, now you don't have the tooth there. You don't have this blood supply, nerve supply. And so you have this anaerobic growth growing in there.
Okay.
And so I'm not a big fan of them. I'd rather you get a bridge. Now, again, you're a dentist.
Okay.
I'm not a dentist. I'm not here to argue with dentists. But this is what I know from my research. So a bridge would be a better choice than a root canal type thing. I'm not a big fan of them. If you have them, I recommend you get a water pick and clean your teeth every night like I do. And you can also do something called oil pulling. Take some extra virgin coconut oil or sesame oil and swish it around between your teeth up to 20 minutes a day. Now, what I do is when mine starts acting up, I do oil pulling for about 3 or 4 days, and the pain goes away. So oil pulling is pretty cool. It gets in between the nooks and crannies and kills the bacteria. So.
But that doesn't help where the implant originally is, up in your
exactly right.
In your gums.
Exactly right. I agree with you. So you got to do everything you can to deal with it. And I played with the idea of getting it taken out. I just haven't done it yet. So I wish I'd never done it. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Foster.
Right,
Great question. Thanks so much. And folks, I'm going to go to a break real soon. If you're on hold, Lee, I know you're on hold there. I'll get to you in a second. If you have any questions, folks, give us a call. The number is 844-44-Dr. Joe. Hey, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We live stream a lot of our shows, and we videotape them, put them on my website, drjoe.com. We do a special show, actually, once a week for other radio stations here at our main parent station. And that's a video as well. That's on the website, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment, come see us. We'd love to be your doctor. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, car accidents. I've never seen a car damaged where the occupants weren't. You need to come see us immediately. And stop suffering. So many people come to us and say, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I wait so long? So it's drjoe.com. You can make an appointment right there. And we have over 1,000 hours of podcasts on the website as well because we really want to help get you well and keep you well. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Give us a call here at the studio if you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. We'll be right back. You're like most people, you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr. to make an appointment today because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly, and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well. Okay. Mr. G, you have questions?
Yes. What is your opinion on oregano oil?
Good. Excellent. Wonderful. Antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal. Good stuff.
So, do you have any other information on oil pulling or your opinions of oil pulling?
I think it's great. I use it all the time, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I wish I could give you more information on it, but you put oil in your mouth.
Simple.
Simple. You swish it around for up to 20 minutes. I can only do about 8 or 9 minutes, and then I start gagging. If it's coconut oil, do not spit it down your sink. If you spit it down your sink and cold water hits it, it will harden and clog up your pipe. So you want to spit it in a trash can outside, but don't throw it down your sink. You will not be happy with that choice.
And...
Garrett's going to lose about 30 pounds today, I think.
Yeah.
Got aerobics. Garrett's
Pain
aerobics.
in the bottom of both feet on occasion. Tonight,
Yes.
bottom of the right foot has extreme pain. I've been down with a cold since Wednesday, so have not been working since then. Super Greens, Essential Source, nitric oxide, and a few of your other supplements for 8 months.
Good boy or girl. Good job on that.
Boy.
A
Brian.
boy. Pinched nerve, usually foot pain is due to either a bone in the foot out of place or a pinched nerve in the low back out of place. Now, it could be diabetic neuropathy and other things as well, but chances are it's a pinched nerve in the low back or the foot. So come see us and we'll get that fixed for you, hopefully.
And I was going to push him to answer this one too. On oil pulling, what kind of oil is best?
Coconut or sesame oil, whichever you like better.
Okay. Raw, refined.
Raw, always organic.
There you go.
That goes for everything.
Is there anything to regrow hair cells inside the ear?
To grow hair cells inside the ear.
You know, you use the hairs
Yeah.
in your ear to hear.
I know that. Yeah,
So-
I understand that. I don't know.
How did you lose them?
That's my question, I guess. Yeah. I would try nitric oxide to increase circulation. It's not affected by dihydroxytestosterone, so you don't have to worry about that. The hair on the top of your head is, but hair on the sides and in your ear and your back and body isn't. That's why men go bald on the top in women and not on the sides, because the top hair cells are affected by dihydroxytestosterone and the hair on the side isn't. Kind of interesting. That's why you can do a hair transplant from here, from the side of the head, put it to the top of the head, and it'll grow, because these roots are not affected by dihydroxytestosterone. But the ear cells, I would try nitric oxide. I don't know, you got me on that one.
So this person says that if they don't eat red meat occasionally, then they get extremely weak, sometimes to the point of lethargy. What I'm guessing they're missing out on other nutrients.
Yeah, exactly. Because I haven't had a piece of red meat in 32 years, and Garrett will tell you, I run circles around these young kids. So
I ate red meat in my life. I've probably had 10 burgers total, and I've probably eaten steak twice.
Wow, really?
I've never liked red meat. So.
Okay, yeah. And you're fine, and I'm fine,
Yeah.
and so yeah. It could be low iron, because meat does have iron in it. But again, if you're eating good variety of fruits and vegetables, super greens, essential source, I don't know anybody's ever had that problem. Now, you could get your blood work tested to make sure, but if you're going to eat meat, it's got to be organic. How about that?
Do you recommend MCT oil?
Yeah, it's okay. Medium chain triglycerides, it's okay. I did it twice, and I got a headache. I got dizzy from it, so I can't do it. I don't know why, but other people they love it, but I can't do it. I get dizzy from it. So.
And that's a great point, because a lot of the stuff that we talk about, like, everybody's different.
Everybody's different. Exactly. I mean, medium chain triglycerides, some people love it and they live on it, but it doesn't work for me. Holy cow, we got a lot of callers tonight. Good Lord.
Right?
I know. What's
I
going on
told
here?
you this was a good topic.
This is a good topic. Oh, 1 minute. He's giving me the finger. This finger.
All right.
Garrett likes this topic. He was excited about this show.
Oh, yeah.
What's that guy doing? Entertaining, honest, independent thinker. It's amazing.
Try to cover everything here. Making a lot of work here with these 1 minute reminders now. We used to be able to hear the show, and one of the speakers isn't working now, so we can't hear the show, and we lower the sound to talk to you guys. I don't know when mods tell me to come back. How to detect symptoms of vitamin D shortages. Okay, that's a good one. Gallbladder surgery, features of recommended juicers, shingles. Oof.
If you do the vitamin D question, is vitamin D a hormone?
Yes, it is. It's not a vitamin, it's a hormone. Yeah.
Okay.
Good question. I'm going to give you a bell for that one, Garrett.
Well, it wasn't me, it's in here.
Oh, well, you get a bell.
Start today with something completely in your control. Your health. Joe Esposito is on.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. We're talking today about cancer and the new research that's out and what it's showing, and it's really exciting because it's showing what we think now is causing it. We think it might be stem cells that are abnormal and they don't have the genetics wired into them properly that cause the cell to die when it's supposed to die. And so now the new research is going on immune therapy, trying to get the immune system strong so the body attacks the cancer cells but not attacks the healthy cells. And now we're looking at focusing on the stem cells for treatment. But the good news is that everywhere I turn, every study I'm reading, study after study, American Institute of Cancer, American Institute of Cancer Research, you can meet your nutritional needs with a vegetarian or vegan diet, but it's most important to include foods that provide protein, vitamins, and minerals that you might get from animal products. I have been a vegan for 34 years. I run circles around the people that are half my age. No one believes how old I am, which is pretty cool. I like that. So you get all the protein you need, and the American Dietetic Association clearly says if you're eating a good variety of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, you don't need to take any additional protein supplements. Your body only needs about 8% of its total caloric intake as protein. A carrot is 6%. So you don't need a whole lot of extra protein, folks. And years ago, I never saw kidney patients in my practice. Now I'm seeing stage 3, stage 4, stage 5 kidney failure, probably 2 or 3 a week. And almost every time they went on a high protein diet beforehand. And the protein puts such a strain on the kidneys and it causes a lot of damage. So don't be duped into thinking you need a ton of protein. You don't. Let's start taking some more calls. You have a bunch of people holding on calls. Let's see here. Lee, how can we make your day better?
Hi, yes. I am also wanting to go vegan, and I want to start juicing. And I know back in the 90s they used to have different juicers, and they said, get this kind of juicer because it does this and it does that.
Sure.
I know you can't recommend a juicer specifically, but what features should I look for to get the optimum use out of it for the nutrients?
Yeah, well, the best thing if you're going to use something called a masticator, it's just going to grind up the whole food. Because when you take the fiber out, you're throwing away a lot of the nutrients. So if you have something like a really super strong blender, I can't use a brand name here, but I have one at my house, it's going to grind up the whole food. Now, it's a slurry type thing, so I would consider that as the best one. Other than that, there's a lot of high-end juicers. Again, I can't give the brand names because they're not paying advertisements, and my boss yells at me if I give free advertising. So,
But
so
more so,
okay.
I was going to say, so less juicing and more so just grinding it up.
Right, but here's what I did. Years ago, I mean, I love juicing. I think it's great, but I have a juicer. I don't think I might have. I can't remember the last time I used it. I wouldn't even know if I remember how to use it. So I created something called Dr. Joe's Essential Source. And what we do is we take fruits and vegetables, juice it, take the water out at a very low temperature, and with that comes the sugar. And so now we have powdered fruits and vegetables at a very low temperature. So juicing is still best. This is second best. And it's a whole lot cheaper and a whole lot more convenient because most of the times you're going to use the juicer 2 or 3 times and you're going to put it away and never use it again. So the essential source is the fruits and vegetables with prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, a complete multivitamin. So it's a heck of a lot easier and a whole lot cheaper just taking the essential source. So
Okay.
great.
All right.
Thanks, Lee.
Well, thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Let's go right down the line here. Paula, how can we make your day better?
Hi, Dr. Joe.
Hi, Paula.
So back in July, I was having very bad stomach aches, and I guess for the past couple of years I was having, I thought, stomach viruses, but I was told they were probably, gallbladder attacks.
All right, we're running out of time here, Paula. Come on. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to know what is like the best diet to use after having the surgery, because I had surgery back in July.
So you had the gallbladder removed, right? You had it removed,
yes,
right?
because
Okay.
everything I use flushes out of me.
Okay, yeah. So what we have to do in cases like yours, many times the stomach will push up against the diaphragm after gallbladder surgery. So we take the stomach and we adjust it. We pull it down away from the diaphragm. And that relaxes the whole digestive tract, stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, and many times the diarrhea goes away. Because a lot of people have diarrhea after gallbladder. I would strongly advise against any animal fats. So that would be butters, yogurt, cheese, ice cream, eggs, because the gallbladder stores bile. And when you eat fat, it squirts this bile, this dish soap, out into the small intestine to digest the fat. So you can't eat a lot of high concentrated fat at any time ever, because it's going to just cause all sorts of problems. So animal fat being the hardest one to break down. Fiber is going to be really important, because fiber is going to slowly push the food through the colon and give you a slow release of energy. So I would go to a plant-based diet, super greens, essential source, high fiber, something raw at every meal, and and if you need chiropractic care, I'd recommend that too. And in most cases, people do really well with that. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Paula. And folks, if you want to make an appointment, you can go to the website, drjoe.com, or the number you just dialed, 844-44-Dr. Joe. George, how can we make your day better?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out about shingles. There's a lot of talk about it has to do with immunity.
Yes.
What do you recommend if you ever get shingles?
Sure. Well, it's a herpes virus, of course, so we have to treat it as we would anything else. I would stay away from peanuts because peanuts have a lot of high concentration of arginine, and arginine can stimulate the herpes virus, so you got to be careful with that. If you do have the shingles, many times it's along a nerve root. And from a chiropractic standpoint, we can always go back to where the shingles start, at the spine, and 100% of the cases I've seen in my career, there's a pinched nerve at that area. So the bone moves out of place, pinches that nerve, the virus sets up shop along the nerve root, and through chiropractic care, adjusting that area, and then stimulating the immune system. Vitamin D, I take Wellness Booster, Seasonal Tonic. We talked about nutritional yeast having the beta-glucan in it for the immune system, staying away from sugars. So it's all the same rules that you want to follow all the time to keep the immune system strong. But the thing with shingles, you always want to adjust the level of the spine at that area.
Wonderful.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting with shingles, folks. We see a lot of them come in chiropractic patients. They have back pain, and we lift up their shirt, and bam, you see all the virus, the pustules right there. But when you adjust that area, it usually works pretty well. Let's take another call. If you have any questions, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Bev, you got about 2 minutes. Hello, Beverly. Hello, Beverly.
I wonder what the symptoms are of a person who has a lack of vitamin D.
Okay, well, if you're living in winter and you're not getting any supplementation of vitamin D, chances are you have it. But it can be weak bones, it could be immune system problems, it could be fatigue, weakness. But if you're not getting sunlight, if you're in winter, like it doesn't matter where you are, unless you're near the equator, chances are you're going to need vitamin D. So I take 5,000 international units a day. It's 5 drops. But I tell people, whenever you get your blood work done, get your vitamin D tested. You always want to get it tested.
Let me ask you this. The last time I went to my endocrinologist, my vitamin D number was like 25.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was like 24. And
Okay.
25 is supposed to be normal.
Right, 25 to 40. I like to get it around 40 is a much better level than 25. So you're already on the low end of normal. So, yeah, I would suggest.
Well, let me tell you this also. I am taking something called calcium magnesium citrate plus vitamin D3.
Okay, make sure.
And this gives me, I think, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin D.
Okay, Beverly, how many did I tell you to take? Do you remember?
A tablespoon.
No,
You know what? That's not
5,000.
correct, 'cause I'm looking on
5,000.
the
Ahmad
website.
knows. 5,000 international units of vitamin D a day. Okay?
5,000.
That's 5 drops of my
5,000.
supplement. 5,000 international units of vitamin D a day. Okay? So if you want to keep
Gotcha.
taking that, you need 4,000 more. And if you go to my website, drjoe.com, you can get it right there. Bev, got to go to a break. Thanks for the call. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, give us a call. The number is 844-44-Dr. Joe. My website, drjoe.com. Listen to over 1,000 hours of podcast there. If you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com or 844-44-Dr. If you've ever been in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged, you need to come see us as soon as possible. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay. Here we go. How you doing over there, Garrett? Another half hour. You can do it. Come on, man.
Sweating.
Garrett's running, man. He's rocking. He's young. He can do it.
Can a ventricular shunt be removed if it was placed for
Hydrocephalus.
hydrocephalus?
That would be a question for a neurosurgeon. I don't know that answer. It would be your specific case. So I wish I could give you an answer on that one, but I defer to my neurosurgeon experts on that one.
Information about body piercings. Are they bad to have health-wise?
Yes. First of all, the piercing itself, of course, can cause an infection. But we have meridians in our body where energy flows. And that's what acupuncture works on. And where acupuncture was quackery, now it's being taught in medical schools, chiropractic schools all over the world. So you're putting a permanent block or stimulant into a flow, into a flow of energy, chi. So I would strongly advise to limit your piercings the best as possible. How about that? Keep it friendly.
Yes.
I like piercings, but they're not good for you.
We're laughing at the idea of getting anti-Dr. Joe to answer some of our caller questions.
It would be so much fun, wouldn't it, if we could get Tim in here on a Sunday? What they're talking about is I do a show with Eric von Hessler. He's on 9 to 12, #1 show, I think in the Southeast, certainly in Atlanta. Very good friend of mine, and one of the people in his crew, he calls him the Doctrinaires, is Tim Andrews, and he's a comedian. He does impersonation. So when I'm on the show, he does my voice, and he answers questions the exact opposite of the way I would answer them. It's called he calls himself, Eric von Hessler calls him anti-Dr. Joe. So whatever I would say, he would say the exact opposite of it. It's hysterical because I'm arguing with myself on the air. It's so funny. So yeah. So if you never saw the show, it's great. I never heard the show. It's great. But I don't know if we could drag Tim in here on a Sunday. So
Nick mentioned that anti-Dr. Joe told him it's a great idea to sit around drinking Monster Energy and beer while playing Fortnite all day.
Yes, that's what anti-Dr. Joe would say. Yes.
He said, "Is this true?" I said, "Well, look at Jared."
Look at Jared. There you go. Perfect example. Hope Jared's not listening. Yeah. No. He's. It's a lot. I love being on that show. It's so much fun. It gives me a chance to tell jokes and be a silly cut-up comedian too. So on this show, I don't get to do that too much. Yes.
All right. We do have a ton of questions in here. I get dizzy, nauseated if I'm watching a shaky video or riding in the backseat of a car. Is this possibly due to a chiropractic issue or an eye issue?
Yes, could be any of those. Could be a cerebellum, could be a pinched nerve going into the inner ear, could be an eye issue. So the answer is yes, and a lot of people get very good results with cases like that with chiropractic care.
I actually got car sick riding back from our meeting the other day.
That's right. Yeah. So.
And you said that it could be attributed to ADHD?
Well, most folks with ADHD, like you and like me, the stomach is up against the diaphragm, and that can affect the vagus nerve. And if the vision starts to irritate the vagus nerve, it can cause nausea because it goes right out the stomach. That's what seasickness is. So.
Now back to the teeth. What about caps on a tooth after a root canal? Do they also carry bacteria like an implant?
Probably not anything like the implant. The implant is the worst one, yeah. So unfortunately, so.
So that's more about like leftover decay.
Yeah, well, like I said, when your root is up there, it has these side canals coming into a cannula, so they're called. And when you pull the root out, and you could clean it out, but these little side canals where the bacteria live, they start to become anaerobic, and they start to produce that chronic infection. So that's where the problem comes in.
Oh, just asked again. So
yeah, somebody on the
good
call.
timing.
Yeah, somebody else on the call has that too. Dental implants or root canals. What are you talking about? I don't know if I'll take that call or not. I'm not sure.
Is chiropractic care and Rolfing therapy similar?
No. Rolfing gets in and breaks up the fibrous tissue, the connective tissue that the muscles hold together, and they break up scar tissue. And according to Rolfing, there's even memories in there. Chiropractic care puts the bones back in place. They both work well together.
Do you recommend taking the supplement B12 with folate?
Yes, you can do that, yeah. But if you take Dr. Joe's B complex or essential source, you're going to get all that. So.
Do you recommend a beginner's vegan cookbook? My girlfriend, she's awesome, recommends Eat Like You Give a F.
Tons and tons of recipes in there too. So there's the book. Gives you how to change your diet with the recipes. So on the website, drjoe.com, we even have an ebook version if you want that.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to try something from there, and you live in Atlanta.
That's right. You tell
Art Thomas.
Art Thomas. Oh, that's right. If you live in Atlanta, Art Thomas Grill. Richard, when he was alive, I miss him every day. He stole my favorite recipe, which is an avocado mango salad. It's a Dr. Joe's signature salad, and he put it. It's on the menu at Art Thomas. But here's one for you. If you get the book and make a recipe, take a picture of it and send it to us. We'd love to see it. Okay. And I'm sure Garrett, I don't know, he may put together some contest or something for you. Maybe we should do that. Just have a contest. Have everybody make a recipe from the book, take a picture of it, send it to us, and they win something. I don't know. You decide.
We do have a few ideas for a contest coming up.
Yeah,
so
Garrett's the contest.
Y'all stay tuned, but I feel like spring is the perfect season for a contest.
Okay, so he's being awfully generous. He's telling me what he wants to give away. I'm like, hey, come on. I got to pay the rest of the staff,
Dr. Joe, what's the best way to respond to nystagmus in the eyes?
Well, nystagmus, it's usually a neurological issue. And so chiropractically, we adjust the spine and the skull to hopefully stabilize that. And if that doesn't work, we can go to further issues with chiropractic neurologists. But usually, chiropractic work that we do usually works pretty well with that. So.
And that is actually it so far.
No way.
Yeah.
Caught up on questions? God, we never do that. Come for Gary. He's been running, man. If you have any more questions, got another half hour, folks. Send them in. Make Garrett work. Make him work. Beat him into it.
See what Johnny has to say.
Oh, Johnny's got questions too? What's Johnny saying?
Says slow you down a little.
That's for Johnny. Yeah. You listen too slow because you're old. That's what I'm going to tell him. So you got to listen faster.
What'd you eat today?
I had artichokes today. God, I love artichokes. I made artichokes the other day. Oh, hang on. Here we go.
Once again, delivering his DC reports.
Not yet. I had artichokes. I had split pea soup. I had a huge salad. What does I have?
Been eating a lot of split pea soup lately.
I love split. In the winter, I love split pea soup. I mean, it's just so easy, so quick, so cheap. I had an orange, an apple, and a grapefruit as well. And, of course, Super Greens and Essential Source. Second dose today. There we go. And my supplements. Did I eat a lot today? I think that was it. Yeah. Love artichokes, though. Oh, you ever have good Not my artichokes. I have to bring in artichoke.
Radio. That's why
I like hearts in a couple of burrito recipes that I have.
You gotta eat the whole thing, man. I'll show you. Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. We're talking today about cancer, the new research on cancer. and what's going on, and it's really exciting. And this is from the American Institute of Cancer Research. And it says, American Institute of Cancer Research recommends for cancer prevention to eat a plant-based diet, primarily fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, nuts, and seeds, and with some animal foods if necessary. But if you're going to do animal foods, of course, organic only. This allows you to get a variety of plant foods, cancer-protective nutrients such as fiber, vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals. So every time I turn around and read the research on what diet is best for cancer, it all keeps coming back to a low sugar, okay, cutting out the processed foods, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas, and going to a more plant-based diet. It keeps coming round and round and round. Now, some people talk about the ketogenic diet, which, if you're going to do that one, is kind of similar to this. I don't like the fact that they do animal proteins because I don't do animal proteins. That's the disagreement I have with the ketogenic diet. But I keep thinking, how many times are we going to spin this low-carb diet? We had the Atkins diet, then we had the ketogenic diet, and then we had the high-protein diets, and we just keep spinning the same concept on what? We just want to cut out the processed carbohydrates, the breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, sugars, artificial sweeteners. And so if we do that, we're following each guideline. Now, with Atkins, of course, Atkins said eat, nothing but meat and you'll be fine. Totally disagree with that. In fact, I was scheduled to debate Dr. Atkins when he was alive, and then he died on me, so I didn't get to debate him. So I guess I won. I don't know. But I'm not a big fan of the animal plant-based diets. And if you're going to do animal products, once again, please, organic only. So what cancer research shows for cancer survivors? Research shows cancer survivors should follow the same diet recommendations as those for cancer prevention, which is a variety plant-based diet. More emerging research, there are also indications that women eating high amounts of fat and saturated fat develop diseases, may have increased risk of dying following the diagnosis of breast cancer. I lost my sister to breast cancer, and I begged with her, and I pleaded with her, and she wouldn't listen to me because someone once said, no man's a prophet in his own hometown. I was little Joey, and little Joey didn't know anything. And unfortunately, when I went to her funeral, I thought those same thoughts. I said, boy, what could have happened had she done it? And I don't know. Maybe she would have made it, maybe not. But it breaks my heart when I see people die of cancer when they haven't done everything right. If you've done everything right, sometimes my father always said it's in the book. Your whole life is in the book. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. But I think you can fight a lot of these things with a lot of the tools that we give you on these shows. Research has found that eating moderate amounts of soy foods are safe for breast cancer survivors, and that eating foods high in fiber lower your risk of colorectal cancer. If you're going to eat soy, please, I'm begging you, organic only, because soybeans many times are genetically modified. 94% of soybeans in this country are genetically modified. So I would recommend fermented soy is even better, like tempeh, miso. There's something called natto. Oh, God, please don't ever eat that. Oh, it's the worst tasting thing in the world. It's like if somebody took rotten cheese, put it in moldy socks, and stuck it in the trunk of your car for a couple of months in the summer. That's what natto tastes like, but not a big fan of that. I do want to cover something here, too, because we're running out of time. If you have any questions, folks, by the way, the number here is 844-44-Dr.Joe. There was something I hear pops up every now and then. Somebody asked me a question about vitamin B17, also called Laetrile or amygdalin. By the way, it's not a vitamin. I'm not a big fan of this one, and it really hurts me when I hear this stuff because then somebody will say, well, those holistic doctors, they use things like Laetrile, and not everybody does this. Amygdalin is a cyanide-containing compound found in apple seeds, 10 times more concentrated in the seeds of peaches, apricots, and bitter almonds. It can be sold as a derivative of Laetrile, advertised as the misnomer vitamin B17. It's not a vitamin. And so people were saying that this will help fight cancer. Conclusion, amygdalin, Laetrile, is a toxic drug that does not have any effect on cancer treatments. So I'm not a big fan of this, and I don't want you to be duped into it because there's a lot of snake oil salesmen out there. No sound evidence of Laetrile is effective as an anti-cancer treatment. I'm not going to recommend you do it, and I don't recommend you take it because it does have a cyanide in it. So you don't want to put that in your body. From the American Association of Cancer Research, conclusion, vegetarian diets seem to confer protection against cancer. Vegan diets seem to confer lower risk of overall female-specific cancers and all cancers than any other dietary patterns. The lacto-ovo-vegetarian diets seem to confer protection in gastrointestinal tract. So the research is there, and it just keeps coming up over and over and over again. Now, we talked a little bit. I want to talk about these mutated genes and these stem cells here real quick because I know we're running out of time. And growing impressive amount of research is showing that cancer development is not caused by mutated genes, but rather is associated with altered metabolism. And so it's kind of combining these two things now, the mutated genes in the stem cells, and it's a metabolic issue. The cells can't stop producing. They're just making too many babies. And so what we need to do then is protect what's called the DNA and the mitochondria of the cell. So if you have a stem cell and you attack it with free radicals are like Pac-Man, waka, 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 waka. They start eating through things. And you damage the DNA or the reproductive capabilities of the stem cell, it can shut off the part of the gene that tells the cell to kill itself, to commit suicide when it's old and not really useful anymore. So the cell goes through its life cycle, apoptosis occurs, the cell commits suicide, and it goes on. That's a normal, healthy life cycle for a cell. When the apoptosis doesn't turn off, we think it's now happening in the stem cells. And so the stem cells can get into the blood system and set up shop elsewhere, and that could be why a lot of the cancers can metastasize. And it could be, too, why you finally beat the cancer and then it comes back, because we didn't kill all those stem cells. Now, it's a tricky thing. I'm not saying that I have all the answers to this. I certainly don't. I'm just talking about the new research that's out now. About 5 to 10% of a tumor is the stem cells. 90 to 95% of the tumor is composed of cells that are not malignant, and they are much easier to kill. So many times if we're doing something to try to kill the cancer cells, we're killing off the normal cells, but those mutated stem cells are really tougher to kill. And so that's why you think, okay, everything's gone, and then the stem cells, boop, pop up again. So it's not something that I'm a big fan of there. Conventional treatments, we know what that is, and sometimes we don't get the best results, and sometimes the treatments themselves can cause problems. And so if you have chemo or radiation, that can cause other problems as well. Once again, I'm not telling you how to treat the cancer. I'm just giving you research as to what's out there. Several new compounds have been shown to kill cancer stem cells along with whatever else you're doing. Quercetin, for example, inhibits pancreatic cancer cells, especially when it's combined with sulforaphane, which comes from cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, these are cruciferous vegetables. Why are they cruciferous? Because when the flower forms, it's in the shape of a crucifix. That's why it's called cruciferous. Totally useless information. I thought I'd throw it out there for you, though. Resveratrol seems to inhibit cancer stem cells. Curcumin inhibits stem cells for breast cancer, colon cancers, and brain tumors. Once again, taking curcumin is not going to solve your problem by itself, but as part of an overall treatment plan, you might want to consider that. You know, the curcumin is it's the yellow part, what makes mustard yellow, and it has turmeric, and turmeric has curcumin in it. Got to go to break, folks. If you have any healthcare questions, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe. In the last segment, when we come back, we're going to talk about ways you can help stimulate your immune system. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. My website, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment to come see us for chiropractic care, digestive care, along with nutritional work, go to my website, drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We want to help get you well and keep you well. Hey, tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. Does this sound like you? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches? Chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problems and not just cover up the symptoms.
Normally I have
If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr. and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Are you experiencing hot flashes or fatigue?
All right, go ahead, Garrett. Last segment.
What about soy? It's pertaining to what you were talking about.
We just talked about it. If you're going to do it, I recommend organic only, and if you're going to do it, I recommend the fermented version, but very small amounts should be fine.
Is there a type of mushroom that we should stay away from?
Poisonous ones, and the psychedelic ones. The maitake mushrooms are good. That's one of the better ones there, so we're going to talk a little bit about mushrooms coming up, yeah. But not really. The button mushrooms, they're all okay.
How do I get my ferritin levels up?
Well, you got to find out if you have any leakage, if you have any gut bleeding. That's always a good thing if you're low in ferritin. Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source are greens. Greens are loaded with iron. Anything green, anything red. Cherries, rhubarb, strawberries. Those are good sources of iron as well.
My daughter has ADHD, and the school is pushing us to give her meds. I don't want to do meds. Any advice?
Yes, absolutely. I've done several shows on ADD. You might want to go to my website. I have a real good article on ADD. It's under blogs. I've done shows on ADD. Your stomach's job to take proteins and break them into amino acids. Now, the amino acid tryptophan combines with vitamin B6 and creates a chemical called 5-HTP. 5-HTP becomes serotonin in your brain, and serotonin is the neurotransmitter that helps you focus. Serotonin becomes melatonin, which helps you sleep. So every ADD patient I've ever seen, and I can honestly say I've seen thousands, myself included, I can say Garrett as well,
Yes.
the stomach is pushed up against the diaphragm, you're not digesting your food properly. They're very ticklish. They usually have bad breath. But if we can pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, the body stops protecting itself. A lot of the ticklishness goes away. The bowels go back to normal again. A lot of stinky gas and bowel problems go away. And then the stomach is breaking the proteins into the amino acids to produce the neurotransmitters. We see it all day, every day. It's a physical problem, not just a chemical problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll say the two best things that helped me were one, getting my diet under control and my digestion under control, and number two would be exercise.
Yes.
A little bit of exercise in the morning was one of the best things that I ever did going through school. And you can always hope that they get a job like mine where you're literally bouncing off the walls anyways. So
yeah, and what I find when you take somebody with ADD and you focus them, they become super genius. And people, I mean, not to sound like a jerk, but people say, Dr. Joe, how do you spit all this stuff out every show, every day, it never stops? I find that folks with the ADD and the ADHD are just scattered. And when you can focus and laser focus that in, they become the geniuses of the world. It's really kind of cool. So I love patients like your daughter because it's so much fun to watch them get better. It's really neat. I can't promise anything ever, but we've gotten some amazing results with ADD patients. So bring her in. We'd be more than happy to meet with her.
Are there any real benefits to cutting out coffee or caffeine?
Yes. Go to my website, drjoe.com. Watch the lecture called The 7 Deadly Sins in Nutrition. We do a whole segment on caffeine.
And
the answer is yes.
Does Essential Source or Super Greens have cherries in it?
I don't think so.
I didn't think there was cherry powder.
I don't think we put cherry powder in there. No, raspberries, peach, papaya, watermelon, broccoli, spinach, cauliflower, cabbage, banana, quercetin. No cherries. I didn't think so. I made this a while ago, but no cherries.
How much ashwagandha in powder form is recommended per day?
Let's go to the label right here. Ashwagandha, right there. Ashwagandha, 75 milligrams.
Whew, getting old, Doc.
Oh, I'd be better without my glasses. No, I got to take my glasses off to read. My eyes, I can't see far away, but I can see up close perfectly. So usually it's the other way around.
I was ready for you to like pull it real close.
Nope, it's the other way around. I gotta take my glasses off to read because the bottom of my glasses are a clear glass. Okay. Somebody wants to know about a brand name product. I can't talk about a brand name product.
How can she get the berries that you recommended to raise her ferritin levels?
The berries?
Yeah, you mentioned berries for...
for ferritin. Anything red. Like I said, cherries, strawberries. How do you go to store?
Raspberries.
Raspberries, yeah. Yeah. Anything red, anything green is going to give you the iron that you need. So I would take Super Greens and Essential Source to start. That might solve the problem.
Now, would that mean that like green apple versus a red apple?
On News 95.5 and AM 750, WSB.
They color-coded it.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. Last segment of the show. Gosh, this has gone by so quickly. All right, I want to cover how to get the immune system strong. We got some callers here. Rob, you have a question about a brand name product. I can't answer that on the air. But to answer your question without saying the brand name, I take Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support, and the adrenal glands produce adrenaline that give you energy. They produce prostaglandins, which help control inflammation, and they produce something called pregnenolone, which becomes DHEA. And DHEA, if you're not under stress, becomes testosterone in your sex hormones. If you are under stress, it becomes cortisol. So instead of taking the brand you're talking about, I take Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support, and then I also take Dr. Joe's Nitric Oxide for blood flow to help increase circulation throughout the body. So sorry I can't answer your question on the air, Rob, but you're asking for a brand name, and we're not allowed to talk about brand names. All right, let's talk about getting the immune system strong. Beta-glucan, we talked about that. You got to do nutritional yeast every day. You don't have to do a lot, maybe a quarter teaspoon, half a teaspoon, that's all you need. And that's going to give you the beta-glucan to help stimulate the immune system. Maitake mushrooms, those are very good for the immune system. Astragalus, that's something that we have in Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support. The astragalus can help the immune system. Olive leaf extract is very good. Ginseng is something else that can help the immune system. I know, again, echinacea, pau d'arco, olive leaf extract, all those. We have those in Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster, and I take that every single day as well to keep my immune system strong. But the key here is just don't weaken the immune system. Stay away from the breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. I call them the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. Alcohol, of course, is a sugar. Meat, dairies, coffee, sodas, artificial sweeteners. And under that, we go to bread, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. So I know that sounds like your whole diet, but it's not hard. If you go to my website, drjoe.com, we have a Phil, I just answered your question, I hope. There are a lot of callers coming in. If you go to my website, go under media, and right on the first page of our YouTube page, we have the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. And then if you search the website, you're going to see, look for So What Can I Eat? And that audio, we talk about what you can eat. We talk about the foods that you can add to your diet, and it's not hard. And with supplements, I recommend Super Greens and Essential Source every day. In the winter, vitamin D every day. Those are on my website if you want to get them, drjoe.com. If I eat cooked food, I take Dr. Joe's adrenal enzyme support. I take adrenal support every day because my adrenal glands, as I get older, get weaker, and I want to keep those adrenal glands working properly. And, you know, it's so inexpensive and it's so easy to do these things. And once you start doing them, the biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't someone else tell me what I could be doing to get well? And that's why the website is there 24 hours a day, drjoe.com. We have over 1,000 hours of podcasts. And if you like audio, we have audio there. If you like video, we have videos there. If you're listening to this show, I do another show. It's called For the Health of It. And that's a whole nother show that we do. We do that in front of a TV studio. It's really cool. We have lights and a producer and everything. And that's on the website as well. So you might want to do that. So it's a lot of fun. And go to my website, too. I do a lot of live lectures. And if you're listening to this show live, we have a lecture coming up in 2 days on February 13th. We'd love to have you come out to it. It's on the website, drjoe.com. But I do live lectures, not a lot anymore, because radio and TV is just taking up a lot of my time. But if we have the opportunity to come out to a live lecture, I'd love to have you come out. Because they're a lot of fun, and this one's actually free, which is even more fun. How about that? I don't do a lot of free ones anymore, a lot of lectures anymore. So get the immune system strong. We talked about the ashwagandha, and that helps switch the immune system back into the cancer-killing mode. Now, it's not the end-all, be-all. It's not the solution to everything, but that's why I take the adrenal support, because the ashwagandha helps the immune system as well. So it's not hard to do this. In fact, it's really, really easy. And, of course, from MD Anderson, used to be called MD Anderson Cancer Center, they interviewed Dr. Lindsay Walford, MD, and they asked her some questions about cancer. And the questions was pretty easy. Eating too much meat, especially too much processed meat, can increase your risk of certain type of cancer, including colon cancer and esophageal. Now, if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, that acid can be coming up into your throat and lead to esophagitis, first of all, eosinophilic esophagitis, which can then lead into cancer. So acid reflux is not something you want to jerk around with. If you have it, come see us. We might be able to pull your stomach away from the diaphragm, close off that little valve called the lower esophageal sphincter, and prevent the acid from going up into your throat. So if you just think it's an inconvenience and you can take some medication to cover up the symptoms, folks, you're sadly wrong, because you really need to get in there and fix the cause, not just treat the symptoms. Let's try to sneak another question in real quick. Bobby, how can we make your day better?
Hello, Dr. Joe. About 8 months ago, my wife was diagnosed with uterine cancer. They did a complete hysterectomy. It was found early. She's had 25 days of radiation.
Okay.
Your show tonight was very much of interest, but as I'm driving, it's hard to track and keep up with everything. Is there a place where I can go on your website and see what you've been talking about?
This show will be on the website, Garrett, tomorrow? Yes?
Yes, actually, as soon as we end the show, it's archived forever.
Okay, so as soon as we end the show, it'll be on YouTube and Instagram, and then it'll be on our website as well. And you can just go to our website and watch it. It'll be there forever. So, and I know I talk fast, and that's why we archive all our shows. And if you have any other questions, Bobby, just call me, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. I do appreciate that. And, yeah, so, folks, all the shows are on the website, drjoe.com, because we want to make sure you get all the information you possibly can. Phil, real quick, how can we make your day better?
Yes, Dr. Joe. I have been something that
okay, real quick.
Really,
we only have a minute here.
What are the foods that boost the immune system?
Okay, we just talked about that real quick. We talked about the mushrooms, fruit and vegetables, super greens, essential source, wellness booster, the nutritional yeast, all of those. And if you didn't catch it, it'll be on the website tomorrow. You can listen to the whole show. Okay. Thanks, Phil. I hate to be rude, folks, but we're really close to running out of time here, and I don't want to. I got to be off the air, else Ahmad just shuts me off, and he's mean like that. He's not nice. Also, I want to do one more thing real quick about glutamine. Glutamine, within cancer cells, glutamine is converted into another amino acid called glutamate, which can be used as energy to stimulate the receptors of the cancer cell membrane. So foods that are high in glutamate or monosodium glutamate, in my first book, Eating Right for the Health of It, I have a whole chapter on this. You will anything with MSG, whey protein, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, soy protein, caseinate, natural flavors can be glutamates, carrageenan, autolyzed yeast, all meats and fish, cheeses, even beans and tomatoes can be high in glutamate as well. So you got to be careful with that. But anything that has MSG in it, natural flavors, autolyzed yeast, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, you really want to stay away from that. So what does that mean? You want to stay away from the processed foods. You want to eat foods that don't have labels on them, which will be what? Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Dr. Joe's Super Grease, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, very good for alkalizing the system. Vitamin D, we talked about that, how it's going to help the immune system. Digestive enzymes can help break down your food, take the stress off the food, food that isn't being digested properly. And, of course, chiropractic care. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, folks, stop suffering needlessly. Go to my website, drjoe.com. Make an appointment right now for you, your friends, and your family, and your children, because we want to get you well and keep you well. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. All the supplements are on my website. If you come by our offices, it'll save you shipping. And make an appointment to come see us, because so many of you are suffering needlessly. We want to naturally get you well and keep you well. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. My website, again, drjoe.com. Tell your friends about the show. Catch you next time.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. This is Dave Baker, the home.
All right, I got one last question.
All right, go ahead.
I missed this one earlier, and I had to track it
All right,
down.
I'll let you
and get it.
live.
What should I do about feet that sweat and smell like ammonia after I've changed my diet? So
Okay.
I changed the diet for the good. Now his feet sweat like crazy. And
Okay,
smell.
ammonia could be it could be a kidney issue, because the kidneys neutralize acids. And if the body isn't breaking down acids, the body starts producing ammonia as its last-ditch effort. So if it smells like ammonia, you might want to come see us. We'll check your digestive system. We'll check the nerve supply to the kidneys. And then we'll see why you have this hyperhidrosis. It could be a pinched nerve in the low back that's affecting the feet as well. So that may be something you've got to come see us for.
And the best thing I found for sweaty feet, I don't know if you've tried this or not, but soaking your feet in a tea bath.
Oh, yeah, tea or apple cider vinegar works too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My feet smell like roses in springtime.
And I bet everything coming out the other end smells like roses too.
Oh, it's amazing. It's people just think they're at a florist when they're near me. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends about the show. Follow us as often as you can. Share this link too. We'll catch you next time.